Hi everyone, in this video we will be talking about advanced topics for limits and continuity, and the idea here is to give you really a lot more advanced problems till what we have done till now, so that you can really get an idea of what kind of problems will come in JEE, and you can see that all we need is really fundamentals and practice, and you should be able to do the problems. So without wasting any time, let's just get started and seeing what kind of problems I want to discuss today. So the question here, the first type of question which I want to do today is, we have been given that limit x tends to 0, x into 1 plus a cos x minus b sin x by x cube is equal to 1. And we have been asked to find the values of a and b. Okay, so I mean, if you put x is equal to 0 directly in the substitution, it becomes a 0 by 0 type problem. But this problem is the other way around. Till now, we used to always evaluate the limit. In this case, the limit has already been given to us, and we have been asked to find the values of a and b. And if you substitute, it directly comes out to be 0 by 0 type problems. I hope you have enough practice till now that you can spot almost instantaneously that this is a classical series type problem. You have an x cube in the denominator, you have sin x, cos x. And what you need to do is you have to ensure that the ratio of x cube terms come out to be 1, because that's really the answer that we have discussed in the series expansion topic, that the lowest powers of x of the denominator would really control the answer, and that is x cube. So x cube will control the answer, and the smallest powers x, x square and 1 will go to 0, and highest powers will not matter. So what I really mean is that we should just directly expand. So if we expand x cos x, then we will get 1 plus a into 1 minus x square by 2 factorial plus x4 by 4 factorial, and so on. And we don't need highest because we just need till x cube. So this will be x cube and this will be x5, so we don't really need this term also, but I've just written it down here. Then minus b into x minus x cube by 3 factorial, because other than that again we will have higher powers which we don't really need, is equal, and by x cube. So if we collect the powers, here we can clearly see that there are two powers, one of x and one of x cube. So the powers of x cube x are 1 plus a minus b, and powers of x cube are, if you see, powers of x cube are minus a by 2 plus b by 3, or b by 3 factorial by x cube, and this is limit x tends to 0. So of course, I mean that was what we had done initially also, that we would see always lowest powers will get cancelled. So the idea is that this should go to 0 and that this should be equal to 1, because the highest powers are nothing but wouldn't really matter. So 1 plus a minus b is equal to 0, and b by 6 minus a by 2 equal to 1, and then if you solve the two equations and two variables, you will get a equal to minus 5 by 2 and b equal to minus 3 by 2. Okay, so in this problem we saw that we went the opposite route. We didn't really directly have the problem, but using the series expansion things and making the power 0 for the lowest powers of x, because if this was not 0, then the limit won't exist, right? So the limit would be infinity. So in that case, that's why this is the problem that really makes you think. It's a classical JEE problem. Trust me, like these problems come again and again, again and again. So if you understand this problem, practice, and that should be more than enough, and you should be able to do this problem when it comes in JEE. Okay, so now next problem is limit 1 plus limit x tends to 0, 1 plus a cube plus 8 e raised to power of 1 by x plus 1 minus b cube e raised to power of 1 by x, and it has been given limit x tends to 0 positive, so it's only 0 positive limit, and this is equal to 2. And we have been asked to find the value of a and b. So what do we do? When we directly put x equal to 0 positive, this term goes to infinity because this is 0 to e raised to power of infinity, so it becomes infinity by infinity problem. And we have been told that what the limit is actually 2. So how to approach this problem? We have discussed this in previous videos, that whenever you see infinity by infinity types and something is causing infinity, you basically divide by that term and make the problem, make that other terms go away. In other words, if you do 1 plus a cube by e raised to power of 1 by x plus 8 by 1 plus e raised to power of 1 by x plus 1 minus b cube and this becomes 8 by 1 minus b cube, and this is equal to 2. So, and if you solve, basically this will become b cube is equal to minus 3, and that is one solution, and a can be anything. And this is a classical multiple choice problem where they will give you options of b cube minus 3, like you have to take 2 or 3 options in which a could be anything, because really it doesn't matter if a is 0 or 1 or 2, so you have to just check meaningful options and do the problem. Classical problem, which we just, if you do something is going infinity by infinity, you just divide by that term and make it vanish. I mean, this is a very common trick which we have even done in other problems, so I hope that this was you could spot it in this case. Okay, now let's move on to some problems on continuity. So there are these problems in continuity which come which are in similar form, and the problem is that fx is 1 minus cos 4x by x square for x less than 0, a for x equal to 0, and root x by 16 plus root x minus 4 for x greater than 0. So find the value of a, if fx is continuous at x equal to 0. So how do we approach? I mean, this is again, this problem is classical problem which we have discussed again. If you are not able to spot these problems, then you should definitely revise the previous videos where we have done these things. So 1 minus cos 4x, I mean, if you cannot quickly remember it, I hope that you can recall that 1 minus cos theta is 2 sin square theta by 2, because I can see x square in denominator. So if first, I mean, what is so if we have been given that continuous at x equal to 0, so we'll first evaluate left hand limit, which is limit x tends to 0 negative for 1 minus cos 4x by x square. There are two ways to do it. One is to series expand, that is completely fine, or you can do what I was saying, you can directly write this as 2 sin square 2x by x square, and for that you can actually do something like this. And this will become approaching 1, so the answer is actually 8, or you can series expand also and you will get the same answer. So left hand limit is 8 and right hand limit is root x by 16 plus root x minus 4. Again, if we put x is equal to 0, then we get 0 by 0 form. Sorry, there is no and we have discussed this before, that we should rationalize whenever see root a minus root b. So what you can do, and you can only clearly see when we rationalize this term, this root x will get cancelled with this root x. So this would actually just become nothing but 8. You can solve this further and this will become 8. And the idea here is that, so I mean this would get cancelled and this would become 8. So the idea here is that we have used these things before and you should just recall them properly. So the good thing is right hand limit is equal to the left hand limit, and the function of 0 value is a, and hence that has to be equal to 8 for the function to be continuous. So what could be a trick problem here is that this, for instance, let's say they made it this to be 9 plus root x minus 3, and in that case the answer here would actually be 6 rather than 8, and the left hand limit won't be equal to right hand limit, so no value of a would actually be able to give you the right answer. So that's the trick problem. So you have to check all the three values have to be equal. So left hand limit, right hand limit, they have to be equal to make the value, to make the function continuous. So going on to the same problem, I will give you a homework problem so that you can try something on the similar lines, and I hope that homework problem would be a good indication for you to know like how to solve these problems, and the function, and you have to find again the values of a and b. Find a and b. 1 plus mod sin x if fx is continuous at x is equal to 0. Find a and b. 1 plus a mod sin x by a by mod sin x. Sorry, minus pi by 6 is less than x is less than 0. B for x is equal to 0, and e raised to the power of tan 2x by tan 3x for x greater than 0, and you have to find the values of a and b. So I hope that you can solve this type of problems, and it should be a good indication for you to realize that how to solve these things in JEE. These are classical problems which come in JEE, finding the values of a and b using series expansion, infinity by infinity rule, series expansion, factorization. So basically this is trying to show you that we can combine the basic concepts we have learned and really solve problems which are exactly problems which come in JEE. So I hope you enjoyed this video. In the last video we will be discussing the last topic for limits and continuity. So I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.